Okay, a little Comanche Moon addendum. I knew I was forgetting something. What the hell is that? Anyway, say hi to Willie, who's napping. Hopefully you can see him there in the chair. Uh, Brokeback Mountain. Saw that movie a few years ago, and yeah, at the end of it, it was very heartbreaking. I cried. And then I come to find out that Larry McMurtry and Diana Osana, his frequent writing partner, had worked on the script, which makes complete sense when you realize that all of that, like I guess Annie Proulx wrote the original novel that it's based on, but as much of it takes place in the southwest of the United States, um, it works with the same material that Larry McMurtry excels in: regret, uh, choices not made, things that could have been, that type of deal. And as that story unfolds, the sprawling landscape between the two characters, because if you've seen the movie, it's basically two cowboys. I think it was up in the Montana, somewhere up in the mountains in Montana, basically had strong feelings for each other, and they consummated those feelings. And then of course one couldn't deal with his homosexuality, so he just basically denied himself all feeling. He played by Heath Ledger, by the way, and he was just drifting around like, a loner, while the other, played by Jake Gyllenhaal, decides to like quell it and marry and be a normal guy, and married, have a couple of kids, live that whole life. That's basically a lie, while he's running his father-in-law's oil company or some such. But in the meantime, every now and again, his friend would show up for a fishing trip, and they'd be gone for 2 or 3 days, and the only time that their father seemed alive and really like lit up was when he knew his friend was coming to go fishing. So it was one of those deals where the characters knew without knowing type thing. They suspected but didn't want to know the whole truth. And yeah, it was very, once I found out that Larry McMurtry and Diana Osuna wrote the script, it made complete sense, because these characters are dealing with something that they're not allowing themselves to experience because, I don't know, what how they're interpreting society's laws of what's proper and what manhood is supposed to be, etc., so on. But they get together over the years as the years unfold on these fishing trips. And it really is just heartbreaking all around. And the landscape, the desert mountainous landscape that separates them all the time might as well be a character in the movie as well. And you get that sense in Lonesome Dove too, when you're talking about the distance that lies between Gus and Clara. Two soulmates that should have been together, except that Clara Allen took the safe bet, because Gus would have been whoring around, and he wasn't going to quit and live a normal life the way she wanted him to, because he was always out rangering and having fun and drinking and all that stuff, and he wasn't willing to give that up for her. So she took the safe bet with Alan. I can't remember his first name. Another senior moment. The horse trader from Nebraska. So she went to go live with him in Ogallala, and pretty much the half of the whole reason why Lonesome Dove happens is why Gus agrees to go on that cattle ride north towards Montana. It's going to stop him by Ogallala, Nebraska, so he can stop and see his first flame, Clara, and they can compare notes about how life could have been, etc., so on. Again, paths not taken, regrets, that kind of thing, which is what Brokeback Mountain was all about, and was all the more heartbreaking for it. So, yeah. I kind of wish and nothing against Annie Proulx, but I kind of wish that Larry McMurtry had taken a shot, basically had written that book with Diana Osuna. Maybe I should read the book for myself. Anyway, just wanted to throw that in as an addendum, my Larry McMurtry addendum. So consider this a bonus. Take care.